Welcome everyone back to another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately, passed on 1/1/2020, but we started Together for Sharon.com in her memory, and today we advocate for all those still battling Parkinson's and their families because I want to make sure everyone knows you're never alone in this fight. Today's guest is somebody who is just simply incredible. I think that's the two words we'll use today. She not only motivates me daily, but the work that they do, something I wanted to shed attention to, and I've been excited to for some time because I hope everyone realizes how much music really just changes lives, especially when you're going through something like Parkinson's. And if you don't know, today we will make sure you are aware. And please share this and support my friend Carol. Welcome to the show, Carol.
Hello, George. Thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you.
It's an honor to meet you finally. We've talked for almost a year, but to be able to be with you live really means the world. Can you start us off by telling us a little bit about your background and how you kind of went into the world of Parkinson's awareness?
I can certainly do that with ease. And here we go. So, my background is in mind body medicine. I'll be 80 next year and did not expect this to happen in my retirement. But 10 years ago, almost to the day, we launched Music Mends Minds. Why? Firstly, because music is medicine for the mind. And I'll go into that a little later. But personally, my darling husband, Irwin, was given a Parkinson diagnosis on his 70th birthday. Oh my God, what a birthday gift. With my background, I knew about the journey. He didn't. I couldn't share it with him. And off we went. So 10 years of synthetic medicine called dopamine. It's called Cinemet, but it was synthetic medicine. His brain became saturated with the synthetic dopamine, and he started to have hallucinations, started to be so upset by all of the voices talking to him and asking him to do things. He came to me hysterical. Carol, and he gave me his symptoms. I said, Irwin, we need to call Dr. Jeffrey Bronstein, who is a Parkinson specialist at UCLA, world renowned. He is the chairman of the Department of the Movement Disorder at UCLA. Jeff, on the phone, reported the findings, and he said, oops, the brain is on overload. We have to reduce the meds immediately. I said, aye, aye, Captain. Didn't recognize that by stopping Irwin's Cinemet, that he would become absolutely non-functional. It was like pulling the rug out from under a human being. And there my poor Irwin sat at the piano, which he played socially, trying to find the keys, trying to read the music, trying to deal with the pedals for pianissimo and fortissimo. But what I saw was a wet noodle draped over the keys, and in 5 or 10 minutes, this wet noodle became a dry one. Shocked me. And I said, back to the telephone to speak to Jeff Bronstein. And I did not expect to hear his response. He said, Carol, you're watching the power of music changing brain chemistry. What? My background in healthcare had never exposed that fact to me. So I was very excited, and I said, Jeff, can we then find several like-minded souls suffering with Parkinson's and jam together and have a music session? And he said, why not? Being a fix-it girl all my life, I went to the old-fashioned Rolodex, called a flurry of names and said, listen, we're going to have a music hall. We're going to launch a nonprofit called Music Mends Minds. Of course, everybody was intrigued. I had a lot of patients referred by caseworkers from various places. We found a music studio as a home for these jam sessions at the Wynwood School, which is a private school in Los Angeles. And 30 people showed up, strangers. We greeted each other and conversations ensued. But a soul from the group migrated to the Steinway piano. Another soul gravitated to the drum kit next to the piano. My guy went to a wall of inventory of instruments for kids to learn how to play in the music studio. And Sam, he strode across the room, he pulled back his blazer, and he brought out a harmonica.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I never, ever realized that the magic was about to begin. The four of them struck up as total strangers musically. And within 15 minutes, they were jamming like brothers, like they'd known each other for years. And everybody was totally captivated. And these four became the core of four to launch our 5th dementia flagship band. That was the beginning of this amazing 10-year-old journey, which has gone global. I am busier than I ever thought I would be in my golden years that are tough to deal with. But what I learned was that in the moment of music making and socialization, we have inbuilt pharmacists in our brains that hear the music. They're on duty 24/7. We don't pay a dime. We don't have to drop off a prescription or take a pill. We just need to engage in music making, and the happy chemicals flush into the bloodstream, and you can literally watch the darkness in somebody's life of hopelessness turn into light of hope. And this is what we are doing since that day forward for 10 years. And we got recognition from PBS about very early in our lives. They called and said, could they come and film the 5th Dementia Band in rehearsal? They'd heard about us. And that went out over the airwaves. 150 callers came back to me across the country. We need the music. Where can we get the music? And I said, take a deep breath. We're brand new. Stay tuned. And that's how we've grown.
Well, it's a beautiful story and journey, one that feel like it just came to life, even though we've known each other some time. You really are a beautiful storyteller. This is also dedicated to your husband today. We'll never allow his memory to ever be forgotten. And he also, I consider him family. So,
well, thank you, George. This is my Irwin.
Oh.
In a little lacquered box that we bought in Russia about 30 years ago. And wouldn't you know, it has some of his ashes in it. And my buddy is with all of us today and says, thank you for the outreach.
Well, hopefully he's with us too. Unfortunately, we're about to get hit with a horrible hurricane, and we know, as everyone out there listens and follows me and you, that nothing will ever stop me from fighting for a cure in memory of both of our loved ones and all those that we might have lost due to the disease, but everyone's still fighting. So again, I'm grateful for your time and friendship. I do want to now shift to a beautiful young woman who you might recognize, this young lady. And everyone listening, please go to togetherforsharon.com, click interviews, and you'll see a lot more in depth. Of course, we had the beautiful story now, which you can't beat, but you can read more about Carol's background, about the foundation, and also a lot more in depth, which we might not be able to touch on everything. But the most important thing, which I want to share, is please go to mendsmind.org and support them. It's very important. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the website. I know your incredible team on social media, become family with them. So we also send a shout out and love to the entire organization, because it really takes a community to build something might have started with one incredible person and those fabulous four in the room, but running something that you are getting the support. I just want the world to know about you and everything you're all doing.
Thank you so much. And apropos of our ongoing work, so we don't only deliver music to seniors with Parkinson's or dementia and Alzheimer's. We work with post-traumatic brain injury, stroke, and PTSD. And anybody out there, as long as you've got air in your lungs, you need the music, because the music is medicine. It leads you to the happy chemicals. It will change your day, change your disposition. And so we really feel that we are sharing something so meaningful with the world. It costs almost nothing to get involved with music. It's important to know that those happy chemicals flush at a bigger rate the more hands-on you are with the music. And so those that are just sitting by tapping, humming, or clapping to the sound and the rhythm, they're getting a dose, but not like somebody who is singing or dancing or picking up an instrument. And the more complicated the instrument, it activates the brain to a greater level, and there's more payoff in the world of happy chemicals. Now, for Parkinson's, this is exceedingly important. Why? Because Parkinson's is a movement disorder, and 96% of the dopamine producing cells in our brain are dead before you can make a diagnosis for Parkinson's. So those Parkinson buddies out there listening to this, you have dopamine, natural dopamine coming from your brain pharmacy that is much less than anyone else's. This was the miracle watching Irwin asleep and wake up to the music, because he made a demand on his brain sitting at the piano and all of the piano complications to play it. And the chemicals flushed in doses bigger than those just wanting to listen to the music. So you've got to get hands-on. And I talk about happy chemicals, but for the Parkinson brain, and really for all of us, it increases our functionality. You will walk better, you will think better, you will talk better. And that's because the happy chemicals are flushing into your system. My guy couldn't take synthetic. He just started to overdose and the brain went into hallucination. But all of us can do a high dose of chemicals and get the highest return by really being engaged with the music, and throw in the socialization as well. It's going to be night and day for you. It's the easiest fix-it plan, not a cure, but it will allow you to move through the continuum of life with your Parkinson's. My guy was almost ready to cross over in his bed. I would go over in the morning in my nightie to greet him. He'd be hands crossed under the sheets, waking up, and I would turn on the boombox. I would get my shakers and I would go into the room dancing and singing for him, humming. And within seconds, his hands would come up under the sheets. Then his knees would come up under the sheets. He wasn't speaking, he wasn't walking. He was truly ready to cross over. But you know what? We danced together. You might have rolled over to say, hello, honey. I wish you a beautiful day. I love you. I danced with my guy. How do you like that, George?
I love it. That's beautiful. I mean, it's a lot of things you're saying kind of mirror what we went through. My mother had hallucinations and delusions. A lot of time when the caregiver is kind of feels alone and not sure where to go or what to reach, they do not recommend music. Thankfully, in a bad way and a good way, in Florida, we had long-term hospice, so she was in it for a year because they didn't consider Parkinson's at the time in 2020 an end-of-life disease. So they offered a few things, but finally they gave us a little brochure that meant the world. And on that brochure was the importance of music. So we had a music therapist come. Some days she was too sick, to have it. But when we did have it, even for those small moments, she smiled, like you said. I had the honor, if you go to Together for Sharon, I won't show it now. I've shown it before on the show, and you scroll to the bottom on the main page, you'll see the last week before she passed, I actually played guitar for 20 years, and I sat down with the music therapist and I played song Cats, Memory, because I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I was raised in Manhattan on Broadway, really. And my mother loved Broadway, and she took me to every musical you can imagine. And her favorite song was Memory from Cats. So being able to play that was touching, but we were shocked to find out at the end of the song. You don't see it on the video, but my mother last words were thank you, and she loved it. She never spoke again after that, but thankfully music, as you do day and night, and we live and breathe music today, those were some of the moments I'll never forget. So again, I'm really grateful for your journey and so much more. We have a lot of things after the show we need to talk on, but I just want everyone out there not just to support you, but also to know how music can change someone's life, every disease, every issue, even the hurricane on the way here. I'll probably be putting some quiet music, hoping and praying that we are still here with everyone afterwards. But please also, everyone listening, I do it live because I like doing it while Carol was speaking. But you go to musicmendsminds.org. You click our story. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a form, and I'm signing up as we speak. Look how quick it was, everyone. So really, I always say no excuse not to sign up. You can also see a lot more on Carol, her journey, how she founded the organization, but you're not going to get a better depiction than what she just told us, which was honestly, truly beautiful. So also the media, there's a media section. There's so much more. I wanted to now shift a little more about you. I'll stop sharing, but again, everyone, musicmendsmind.org, very important. So thank you again for sharing that. I wanted to know if you could list 3 words that describe who you are. Now we get to the tough question.
Oh, this is really a tough
This is
question.
the Barbara Walters section.
My heart is open. I'm here to serve. I'm a double Taurus, which means when I believe in something, stand back.
I love it. Especially when it's such a meaningful purpose, it means the world. You kind of shared this with us, but is there one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through most of your work with awareness that you can share?
I am flabbergasted every rehearsal. Parkinson patients and all of their buddies with their neurodegenerative diseases, they limp in, they hobble in, they're gloomy, doomy. They know something good happens to them every time, so they keep coming. And give us 5 or 10 minutes with our 2 band leaders leading the way for the Fifth Dementia Band, and everyone wakes up. And believe it or not, I must say, we are born with music storage cells. These are birthed when a fetus is 6 months old in utero. These music storage cells are tough, and they don't die like the brain cells that are going to literally fade away because of the deterioration of the disease process. And that's why when somebody has lost their cognition, they don't know who they are, they can't tell you where they live or what their birthday is, in the moment of music making, these cells step up and do the job. And that's why your mother remembered memories, and that was what took her away.
Yeah.
Those are absolutely brilliant memory storage cells in our brains, grown at 6 months in gestation and live with you till the end of time.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very important. And really hope everyone gets the opportunity to experience it. Like you said, it's no cost. So that's even more important. But we also do want to support the foundation so you can offer some incredible programs virtually, I'm sure, too. Do you offer a lot virtually or mainly just live?
Yes, I'm happy you asked that, George. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Pacific Standard Time from 11:30 to 12:30. We have a link to take you onto Zoom with a board-certified music therapist. I've just come off one of these links, and today is Wednesday. and we zoom in to people's homes who are homebound and even can't get out to find the music. We're singing duets now that we're mastering the lag of the Zoom. We are all in love with each other, so we can bring music and socialization for free right into your home 3 times a week. If you're interested in even a bigger party, we have a live stream link every Thursday at 2 to 3 p.m. coming from our rehearsal site in Los Angeles, and you will join in the fun and watch our seniors dancing, singing, having a ball, and the stage is full of musicians. We don't know who's afflicted and who isn't. It doesn't matter because we don't ask, you don't tell. And we're making the wildest magic music for everyone to enjoy on the stream if they can't make it in person. We cannot do a better job of outreach than that, other than people like you, George, giving me an opportunity and an outreach for this half an hour. I'm deeply, deeply grateful.
No, I appreciate your time too, and we send the love right back to you and the whole foundation. Hopefully, we just started a new show we can talk in the future where I go on the virtual road. So I zoom into the events for different organizations and just for 10 minutes, but we get to show the world more than just our beautiful talking, but the actual individuals going through it. And people are really loving that. If you go to togetherforsharon.com, click podcast, you'll see we had one zoomed into a Team Fox event with Michael J. Fox Foundation, and it was at a baseball field. So it was beautiful because even though I'm in Florida, I can go around the world now. So we're going to be doing more of that in 2025. Stay tuned with maybe Carol will be joining us too on that one.
I'll grab the opportunity,
I
George.
appreciate
Count me in.
Next question is important to me because I like to bring the people from behind the scenes in your life out into the forefront and thank them. Who helps you today during times of struggle? As you know, and you are a caregiver, what tips can you also give caregivers who are listening?
I was a caregiver for 15 years, long journey, almost a hopeless journey until I found the music. And I would not be talking to you today if it were not for the music, because we talk about caregiver burnout. It's high. And the statistics show that the caregiver many times will predecease the patient. And so we give lots of loving support and tips and involve the caregivers in music. They're getting the same goodies. Nobody gets anything different. So let's share the spoil with those who are doing the gargantuan work of caregiving. We can save your souls.
Mhm. And who can we thank and send love and support that is on your side now? Unfortunately, your husband is no longer with us, but he is still going to be with us forever, as long as I can keep my voice going. But is there anyone in the kind of background? I know obviously the foundation and everyone on the board and thing, but
I'm going to show you this.
please.
I owe a lot of the partnership to Rotary International. They found me. They loved the story. This is a 7-page story that is backed by 3 world-renowned researchers who corroborate all of the work that we do. So hats off to Rotary. Yesterday, I had 10 Japanese entourage from Tokyo, a Rotary club in Tokyo, who were here with me for 2 hours getting this talk that I'm giving you all. And they left high as kites. They cried at the stories. They laughed at the stories, and makes Music Mends Minds global. We are global. We're in many countries. Yesterday was the first time that Tokyo has taken the bull by the horns, and we're working with Ireland, with the well-known Tommy Sands, who those of us remember Tommy and Pete Seeger from Woodstock days. And we're hoping to have Music Mends Minds in Ireland. We've got groups in India, across the world. So my dream is get on board, everybody. We're global. It's about music. It's about dopamine release naturally in your brains And everybody is going to be smiling, happy, and dealing with the reality of life, which is hard for everybody, especially those with these diseases that don't have any known cure at this time.
Yeah, I love that it's global. Music is not something just for me and you. It's for everyone in the world and has so many different languages and, none of the other things like race, gender, all that doesn't matter when you just press the button play or pick up the instrument and the spatulas.
And when I'm talking about an instrument, I'm talking about salad tongs. I'm talking about shakers. I'm talking about a glass and a pen.
Yeah.
Feel the rhythm. Give your brain exercise.
A microphone too. Just a few more questions as we kind of conclude, unfortunately, because I could talk for 20 hours and then you won't want to be my friend
Me
anymore.
too.
But can you tell us who your hero and inspiration is?
Oh, I got to go right back to my sweetheart.
I love it.
Irwin Rosenstein, my Prince Charming of 38 years. We were totally in love, totally connected, and it is heartbreaking that the disease took him away. But I helped him for 15 years to remain my king till his dying day.
It's a beautiful story and journey for both of you. If you were asked to write a script, which you might have already been done, but to a movie about your life story, what would you call it?
Music brings hope to everyone.
I love that. Beautiful. And on a final question, if you could leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, what would they be?
Plain and simple, get on to the music vibration. You don't have to have learned an instrument. We all inherently have a vibration for rhythm and play. It doesn't matter if you are not playing a musical instrument, and if you are and it's not good, nobody is here to judge you. The key is the happy chemicals that respond to music making in the moment. So go with it, get it done, start now, and take it with you.
Thank you, Carol. Your time meant the world to me and still does. Beyond this, I always tell everyone listening, please share this. Please go to musicmensminds.org, support Carol and all the incredible foundation Rotary does. It's very important, though, that this conversation does not end just now. We have to keep sharing this, keep the music going till there's a cure for all diseases, not just Parkinson. I do have one last message for Carol and every one of you listening. We love you. We support you. We care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Carol, will advocate for you, and together I feel our voices are so much stronger. And I always end with just saying, I'm just getting started, because even though I'm not, which is it's almost false, but I remember a year or two ago when I was kind of felt sad and lost a little bit and I felt alone, especially even after my mother passed. But then I discovered music mends minds and it made me smile, and at the same time I was sad because I wanted the world, I didn't want to be spoiled or selfish and just share your work with me alone. I wanted the world to know about it, and we're doing that together. So just grateful again for all that you do. I'll never forget, and we'll always remember your beautiful husband and all that you do for so many out there. Just means the world. So thank you again, Carol. Thanks again, and I hope there's many more to come.
Thank you. Heartfelt gratitude, George. You're doing a magnificent service.
Thanks. It means the world. And thank you to everyone listening. Please stay tuned. Please share this. Please support Carol. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon St. George, but as you know, this is just the beginning. We have so much more work ahead of us. Some of it will be fun because we'll be able to sing along together with Carol, but through the tough times, we can never give up. And I love the equipment that you brought today. So thank you again.
Band, my mobile band.
Carol has to get back to the music. I have to go deal with a hurricane heading to South Florida.
Good luck to you, George, and all of those
I
waiting.
appreciate
I think it's Milton, right?
it.
Milton
Unfortunately.
coming. I hope he's going to take a left-hand turn.
Yeah, me too. And like I promise and swear, no hurricane, no back surgeries or anything will ever stop us from fighting for Parkinson's disease awareness, hope for a cure in memory of Irwin and my mother, Sharon. Hopefully they're dancing today together and laughing and thanking everyone out there still battling this, because again, you're never alone. So we send our love. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, George. God bless everybody.